Hello, everybody who is here. Let's wait a few seconds for those who are still joining us. So let's say we're gonna start by 10:05. This is Michael Alonge. I'm going to be a presenter for the day, or for the hour, or for the session. Thank you. Hello, everybody. We're gonna start in the next 3 minutes, or no, 1 minute. I extended by 5 minutes because some people are still leaving one session to join us. So please be patient with me and with those who are joining us. Thank you. Well, it's morning Eastern time here, and I'm sure wherever you are, it should be still. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be sure. because if you're joining us from California, it shouldn't be, I'm not sure if it should be that much morning available or yet. My name is Michael Olonge. I'm from University of Maryland Extension. All right, we still have more people joining us, but we're just gonna continue. And those who are joining will join us later. Okay, I think I allowed that person in. So as I was saying, my name is Michael Olonge, and I'm joining you all from Baltimore City. Okay, I think we are good now. I'm joining you all from Baltimore City, University of Maryland Extension. And what actually I'm going to be doing is, well, I expect so many questions more than talking, but I'm gonna share the screen. So this is a plain presentation, and what this is all about. Okay, forget about the top. I copied that yesterday in case I forget to join in. I forget the link, so that was just for me. All right, so again, it takes a region conference. So what I'm presenting actually is teaching that I've been doing with the community. Then that came to work so well with a mini grant that I applied from the Northeast Extension through Delaware, and we were able to get some money. So what this grant? So I'm the presenter, and I'm gonna give my compliment to Reverend Dr. Karen Brown, who unfortunately moved to full ministryship with the church. I received that email about 3 weeks ago, so she will not be able to continue the work with the community and with the work for servicing members in the church as a pastor. So she did a great deal of help. So remember, last year we were talking about the pandemic still in all right, sorry, I'm distracted again. Somebody trying to join us, thanks. So with the pandemic, especially around through January, February, and March, it was tight. It was difficult to take people that you're teaching to go out, even for some site visits, some excursion. And so, but she really made it happen that we're all able to get out there and see what is outside. All right, so by doing that, through her, what really happened is these children, I don't call, although we call them children, but they are young, most of them are young adults trying to get into college and trying to find jobs. Some are really interested in becoming farmers, vegetable farmers, salad gardens, and all those fresh produce and all those things that we need for from the city, that we can get from the city. Again, based on zoning and all that. So again, most of you work with other cities and urban farms in those cities. Sometimes we try to use the best possible information and lots that we do have available to do our work or to produce produce. Okay, so again, okay, so you have another new member joining us. So in addition to learning, so now I am from University of Maryland. The participants and Dr. Brown, Karen Brown, are from a farm called Strength to Love 2 farm in Baltimore City. It's actually in quite closer to the heart of Baltimore City. So it has very accessible and most of the time there's a big sign posted so you cannot miss it. But what this really drew our attention is that, okay, these students, some adult, most of them youth, are coming to learn, and they are learning. How are we sure that they can apply some of the things that they are learning? So we know that they're learning in Baltimore. We know that Strength to Love farm, the farm itself is quite a walking distance to where they have classes. And we know that we do not meet face to face. So because we cannot get much distancing, especially when it came to the point that, especially early this year, distances, we could walk outside and stay a distance from each other and, probably communicate with each other. But again, now that works out well early this year. And so what happened is that it's Dr. Brown who came up with this idea. Say, hey, Mike, what if we can look for a farm or somewhere where there is animals, where there is chickens, where there is cows, so not even a big major farm, something that we can get all that. I said, thank you, Dr. Brown. That has been coming up in my mind so many times, but I wonder how we could do that, because going back, the grant money that I applied for this purpose did not cover enough of that. I say, so maybe if we can get some, because in this study, some of the youth are also learning to go get a job somewhere. Some are learning to understand basic finance and to understand basic management, as not only farm management, how to manage finances that are involved in farming and every other business that they're interested in. So the expectation was that by probably somehow towards the end of the seminar, based on what I was saying, based on this web training that I was seeing from them, of virtual education, of virtual farm education, the best way you feel like putting that would be great. But again, not all, because they'll tell you their interest, not all of them were willing to stay continuously on working with farms. Some would tell you that, hey, look, I like to do this, but I like this background and I like to understand how this process of risk management is going on with farms or without farms. So, so the idea was to use this knowledge to go to I won't say local, to a county that have access for children to come and see their farms and to come and study. They have a study area. You see this briefly as time comes by. But what was impressive is that there's actually a church member, a Presbyterian church member in Baltimore City, who at some point decided that they're gonna move into the woods and use this wooded area and develop some agriculture and some entertainment, especially for city children who do not have access to be able to get and see what is happening in the farms. So again, that is how that came about. Remember, I told you you're gonna have many questions to ask me, so I'm gonna make sure that I leave you much time to ask those questions. So example of the classes that we had with them. First, have started before the grant to introduce basic foundation, which for developing an enterprise with youth or with beginners farmers, as I can call it, because all of them, most of them, 90% of them were beginners farmers. Those who were interested in getting involved with farms, and yet they were beginners. They had no prior experience. So I'm gonna stop this slide and ask you if you have any question before I continue with the next slide. That will be talking about some examples about what they were learning in these classes. Any questions? Is there any questions? All right, since no questions, let's move to the next. Melanie, you just joined us. Sorry, when I'm presenting, I hardly see those who are trying to join us, but thank you for joining us. Okay, so let me try and open the other slide. I think before I do that, since there's no question, let me finish this last slide before so that to give you a bird's eye view of what was also going with those farms. All right, so this slide, I think I thought I would try to figure that out before I call for help with the with our technician. So, but again, or with our IT support. So, can you all see this on the background? Leslie, can you see this? The slide with the students? If you can see this slide with the students and studying together, give anybody. Hi.
We I can't see the slide with the students. I'm only
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoom, for making us learning every day and every day through virtual. All right, let me try. I think this will work now. All right, let me just end this slide. I think moving to another slide, we can come back to this one. I'm sure there's gonna be a question that will surface from that. Okay, I think we are there now. Sorry for that technology problem, but now I think I'll be able to share the whichever one show first is better. Let's see if okay, so this Strength to Love farm is showing up, but let me see if I can get the other one. It's still telling me to share. Okay, one moment. There we go. So sorry for this torment.
That's great, Michael. We can see the presentation now. Thank you so much for your patience with the technology.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you so much. So the first section of this training was based on risk management education. So again, what really happened, so this is the, so we started with production risk. So first of all, there was a pre and post questionnaire, which was designed through Quadrix. And this is actually a questionnaire that was done with Quadrix, it originated and is based and is still available with the Northeast regional, Northeast extension, where we have Delaware. So if you go to Delaware regional extension, risk management extension, I knew there was something wrong with that. Thank you, computer, for your glitch. Okay, so again, so I had it through Quadrix. So there was a pre-survey for them to take, and this survey was for them to be able to, for us to get an idea of where they stand. Now, because of the technology problem we are having, I will not go to that survey, but I'll give you a link on how, maybe that link is there, so probably I've changed it. But again, so what we did is we started with production risk. Okay, in agriculture, is there, we asked the students, there are no more people anymore from community to classes. So again, we asked about production risk for everybody to fill in their own choices, what it is and what is, especially what it is to them. What does that mean to them? So, so we from there, we went to so, okay, not only the production risk, I think I realized that the pre and post, it was for every section that they did also. So because we wanted the students to become familiar with what they are learning. So again, so production risk was the first. We learn about weather, diseases, farm disease and all that, and pests, rodents and all that. You know, we have them a lot in Baltimore. And so, so also with each of these sections, which we're gonna be seeing, they had group assignments. So we break them in groups through Zoom, and then they'll work together. So after working together, they will come and share to the entire group their whole idea and perspective and what they think and how, what they have learned from production risk, and how to manage them, because we go through all those. And although we ask them how to manage them after the end of the session. So, so the group breakout rooms was involved, and and after class, after the end of class, we also give them the post survey for what was studied on that day. So certain days they can do, depending on their tolerance level, sometimes we can see. Certain days they can do one section, just production management. The other days they can do a various sections. So we have production, we have insurance, we have personnel, you know all those risks. And so we split them up into 5 risk management topics, how to understand those risks and how to manage them. And then there was an after, I hope this worked too, an after session. If it doesn't work for you, probably you may email me to send you to change the link in Quadrix and send it to you. And so that is what was done in those classes. Now, any question? Okay, we wouldn't share that. And so the other one I think I need to talk about, which the way my computer is working. It's a good computer, don't blame me, it's a Surface, but I don't know how this is working, how it's working like this today. Blame it on the instructor. The instructor is the provider. So again, I see some questions in the chat box. Now we are not too many. Now, because of the way we all know Zoom works, I may be presenting and don't look at the chat box. So please, just unmute your phone and say, Mike, I have a question. Thank you. That would be very helpful so that we don't skip nobody. Okay, I see someone also acknowledge Zoom. Yeah. All right, so Zoom. Okay, so that's any other questions with the topic itself? Okay, if not, let me see what we have about the next slide as an example. Okay, I decided that Zoom is not playing that trick to me anymore. No more trick Zoom. I wish I knew somebody whose name was Mr. Zoom, but again, this is the one watching us right now. So now the other part of the education that I was talking about, what happened is that some people were in the class, like I mentioned, not just for farm finance. There was just for finance, every day. Finance and future businesses. You know, most of the young participants, the youth who attended the sessions, I'm not sure if I was as bright and smart like them when I was in their age. They are thinking so many things. Why am I in this class? What can I learn from the class? Some of us do not think like some of us adults when we go to a class. We already memorize the topic of the class or the purpose of the presentation, and we focus on questions that are coming only from that presentation. And if that doesn't work, we lost track and we lost trend about whatever this person is presenting. They were very challenging and intelligent, smart students who were in this class. So some of the things that they were asking, we realized that if it came under the idea about being an entrepreneur. And when I teach them, I look at some of these things that can create fun and make sense to them. I said, by the way, who knows what entrepreneur means and where did it come from? Well, most people believe, well, not just most people believe, in most American English writing and economics and especially finance, entrepreneur is translated not as quite as where the word came from. The word came from France. It's a French word, which actually is very short phrase, business owner. An entrepreneur is someone who owns his business and manages the business. So if you go to France and you say, je suis un entrepreneur, you say, I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur, but everybody looking at you say, oh, okay, what kind of business do you do? Now, but again, you may not have to own a business. You may learn how to manage and run that business or be in charge as a director of that business in the US, and you still providing entrepreneurship services. So again, understanding to make or to I think that's wrong, to make or lose money from scarcity, choice, opportunity, cost, and market. We look at this most of the time as very difficult words that people will say, wow, you're teaching students that? You know, teaching for all these years, teaching the community and being a community educator, teaching is as difficult as how us, the instructors, want to make it be. It could be as slight, it could be as little and interesting as how we want to make it be. Okay, so we look at scarcity. Don't just look at the word, which may sound strange. Look at what it means. So again, if we look at certain things which can be synonyms to scarcity, so we'll be able to make that works well. All right, make a list of things that you think are scarce. Why do you make choice? Okay, you decide that you're gonna drink Coca-Cola, you're gonna drink Sprite. Why do you decide to drink Coca-Cola? Why you decide to drink it when most people are drinking Sprite? You hear somebody will say, because it's my choice. Oh, okay, you know that word. All right, so again, we look at cost. So we look at the real cost and implicit cost. So we look at cost from opportunities. You hear someone will say, Mr. Mike, or Mr. Elonge, which way they decide to call me. I said, all right, where did this word come from, opportunity cost? And yet it's so difficult to understand by most people. So as I think about so many opportunities that we do have, but we may not have enough money to be able to get all these opportunities. or may not even have the energy to go around and get all these opportunities, even if they're free. I said, the one that you get is the cost of the one. Okay, the one that you get is one of those opportunities. The ones that you do not get, it means it's a cost to you for the one that you're getting. So again, we look at all this, and by the end of the day, the children, the students can become so masterful in using this. Somebody will do something silly and the class laugh, and you hear someone say, it was, why are you laughing? What did I do wrong? So that's an opportunity cost. So again, so we teach the students in Baltimore City, the community students, those attending to this Strength to Love program, how to open their mind, to look outside the box, to look at things not by the way they are probably frequently talked about, by the definition and what is underlying those words. If they are synonyms, think about it in a different way that will make sense to you. That will make the right sense. So we look at all that, and we also look at cost. We categorize cost. We look at all that. So they learn from all this financial and economics terminologies that relates to money and spending money. And so we also go into certain details, like how to, the choices to increase, okay, what are the choices to increase your income? Yeah, some people believe that working for others or having a small business are all the other ways, the only other ways of making income. But again, there are other ways in economics, and I think they have just four ways which are measured in making, increasing and making income. Work for others, own a business. If you're good at investing, you have money available from some investment, which is called interest. So again, then we look at even homes, what we call rent. It started in England. So I bring all this background and sweet things that will make them laugh and say, wow, okay, land rent. And yeah, there are some of those former British areas in the US that still put their home and ask for people to pay ground rent. So imagine you sell a home, but you're gonna be paying ground rent. So yeah, people will say, okay, Mr. Mike, yeah, I heard grandma saying about ground rent. What does that all mean about? So you pay your home and you're still paying the ground rent? I said, most likely, except certain agreements are made. So we go through the market. We look at the market. So we look at all these basic things. We break even the ones which are difficult, simple, that everyone can understand. And so again, that is how those the beginning classes go. And I think I did not mention that on the slide, but I think the choice and entrepreneurship and all that, economics and finance, they take a month, I think, which require them 2 days. This required them 2 days for 2 hours each month. And again, this was done in such a way that Dr. Brown and myself were watching them to see if they can handle, after learning this, they can be able to handle the understanding and the discussions of beginner farmers or urban farmers as beginners or beginner students, right? So again, that is what that they learn a lot from this that help them out. So again, I think it's worth understanding and that they had a background preparation which according to the students, it became less difficult. It made risk management education less difficult for the students so that they will be able to understand what is going on. All right, so any questions? I've been talking too much. I've been talking for a while. So I think for the rest 20 minutes, we can share questions, we can share our opinions, how this could be done better. So I prefer you to unmute your mic and talk to everybody.
Hi, Michael. I have a question.
Sure, thank you so much.
For the surveys that you did, one at the beginning of the education class and then one towards like the end about risks in production, what did you see that was the most surprising to you that people didn't know or that learned across the process?
Well, what I noticed and what Dr. Brown also noticed at first is that we were expecting that we're gonna be getting too much question about or questioning about farm risk management. Instead, we were saying, oh, okay. So Mr. Mike, so if I don't have to work with a farm, and the person who asked that question was the first person to get a job with the city government and decided to tell us bye-bye that I'm gonna be starting a new job tomorrow. So, so we realized that the difference was what we were thinking about, that it's gonna make the understanding of agriculture. Think about it. Not many GED students who just get out of planning to go to college and get right past writing that test, who came in with a full knowledge about agriculture or risk management, which is a specialized field of agriculture, so but it's still agriculture. So I think the questions we're asking, so Mr. Elonge, is this why we came to this class, to learn about production management? Don't we see that? Don't we see farm production all the time at Strength to Love 2 Farm? We say, yes, you do. So we'll ask the same question, similar question to what you just asked me. Do you think that the preparation classes that you all probably did not like most, that were longer, think it helped? Then most of the answers, some will even answer as a group. Remember, I was Zoom. Some people will answer without not even thinking that their phone is on mute. They say, oh, yes, it helped. Okay, so I think that's the best way for me to answer your question. If right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else? You can lack questions for this, or you can lack input about this, how it went on, what we really gained from it in Baltimore City, or what you think we can add into it to make it increased in Baltimore City. This is last year was the first year we started the risk management classes. I'm gonna wait till everybody asks me their questions. If not, I'm gonna take you to the slide that will show what they did in the farm. I'm still waiting. I said you want me to say like some of my like some of the community and students that I work with. They say, Michael, we did not get you. I said, would you like me to repeat it in French? Then I'll say, oh no, I think I can figure out what you question instead of trying to say it in French. But again, so those are the things that we have been doing. And let me try and open some of these images. I'm sure my Zoom will behave this time very well. I hope it should. Okay, I think I have all of them in the introduction presentation, which I'll better use that. Okay, please, while we are going through this, I made this to such a way that we should all have more than enough time to ask questions and to ask about how many of you participate in that works with urban farms? Please, if you don't mind, just put that in the chat. And also, you could list the name of the area or the state. Maybe the state and the area. From the state, one can guess that, oh, okay, this is city or this is, all right. So that would be helpful. Please put that in the chat, please, if you don't mind. While I'm getting this, sharing the screen for you. All right. Ms. Kennedy, can you see what is on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. I hope so everybody can see this. So this is Woodbury Crossing, which I was discussing before about was the presentation, before the presentation, the introduction part. Now, what happened here, this is the farm that I mentioned that this two Presbyterian, this couple, Presbyterian, a husband and a wife who were longtime Presbyterian members, and they are still members in Baltimore City. And I think they decided that they're gonna open a place like this. That was their dream for church children and for especially the ones that they were familiar at that time coming from the church, from their church. So, but again, for children in Baltimore City in general who do not have access to go to areas in rural areas to see how life is going on in that area as compared to, hey, it's not a surprise that most of the people that I know in Baltimore City was raised and born in Baltimore City or in Baltimore and have never moved. Even if they have moved to other urban sections, not in rural sections. Yeah, and then, so that is the situation. So, so this is the first image is studying and the classes we had a whole, I think we had almost 6 hours of study on that day. Taking breaks, studying, working as a group, and they even had lunch. Now there was a van which Dr. Brown rented from one of these churches. I don't know, I can't remember what she told me. Maybe they even offered it to them as a support for them to come to the farm. So again, so it's also an amusement site. You can see all that water and everything. You can see this video will probably give you a clear view. Please play. Okay, he asked me to stop sharing before it plays. Okay, I will do that. I will stop sharing. Then I'll try to play it, just the video itself. Welcome to Woodbury Crossing Farm. Welcome to Woodbury Crossing Farm. Okay, let me see if I can pause it because all right. All right, I'm still here. This one got to work. All right, let's see. Okay, one more try. Welcome to Woodbury Crossing Farm. All right, can you see anything?
We're not able to see the video, Michael.
Okay.
Do you have potentially a link to the video that if it's somewhere online that folks could watch it if they have time?
No, it's not yet online because you know the thing with the children, you know,
Right.
right. So RIB and all that information, and they do not want to really put the children out there without consent.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But all right. So let's see if it doesn't work. One more try, because I think I tried so many options. Then we're just gonna stick with questions. And if we do not have questions, because we have I think we have just 5 minutes. So let me use the opportunity for this 5 minutes and see what is going on. Some person is joining us now. Okay. All right. So let me try this one more, just one more time. All right, I downloaded it on my desktop. That worked. And welcome to Woodbury Crossing Farm. Okay, let me see now. All right, I wanted everybody to see all these cows and goats and let me make these children proud to the audience so that you see what they were doing. Let's see one more time, then we give up because I think it's less than 5 minutes. Zoom has its own
Michael, the session, it's allotted until 11:30, so don't feel like.
oh, so it's 11:30. Thank you.
Yep, of course.
Thank you. Welcome to Woodbury Crossing Farm. Okay, how about now?
No, I'm not able to see anything, Michael. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I was expecting yes, Michael.
Oh, so frustrating.
Yeah, okay. So again, so what happened is that some of the students were surprised to see cows. Well, some, at least there were few students who, the youth, not the adults, who hadn't seen cows before. And when I said the youth, I'm talking 18 to 19 years, 20 years old. They hadn't seen cows before. And then what happened is that when they, are you there? All right. So when they attended the farm, so what happened is that to most of them, they'll say, "Oh, this is a cow." So some were saying, "No, that is not a cow. That is a horse." So forgive my ignorance. That was interesting, you know. Then so okay, I say, who can tell me the difference? Who can tell us the cow about the goats? You know. So we say, but how about the birds? Well, I say, well, that's chicken. What's the difference? That's chicken. That's a turkey. And I said, okay, why are these goats fenced? Why is the water fenced from these goats? I say, well, people will say, well, there's a risk of the goats jumping into the water since the water is deeper than the area that they can be comfortable in drinking. So if it happens in the night, there probably may not be someone there at that time to rescue the goat. So we had all this question. So we say, what's the risk? Well, we say the risk is managed because the water is fenced. So none of the goats can get into the deep areas of the water. So again, it was interesting. And I think the video would have really explained some of these interesting points, which we're not able to see. And so what happened therefore is was risk that was studied, applied, Yes. Were they able to identify some of the risk? Yes. Now, if you, in Baltimore, if you grow crops in a hoop house and it's not fenced, and a rabbit goes in there, what will happen? Will be a feast of the rabbits to eat a grain zone feast. So again, so all those we was additional information to make us know that the learning of risk management, either production risk, either, at some point, some of them will name them that, okay, that's an example of a production risk. Some will say, well, that's also financial risk, because to buy most of these birds and try to grow them over to the size that they were, it takes a while. So again, they'll look at certain things that will apply. Okay, so they'll tell you that, okay, human resource risk may apply here due to management, but may not come directly from the birds and the animal themselves. They say, well, even though it can come, I'm remembering what most of them were saying, even though it may come from the birds and the animal, it may come because they are not well managed. They say, but if we manage them and take control the way we're supposed to protect them, we'll not get them, passing through bird flu or going through unfortunate circumstances that may lead to their destruction. All right, so again, so that was a nice experience, so it's a nice experience that I tried as much as possible to bring it virtually live, even though it's not live. But those are the live things that were happening to these birds and the study and the learning, so that is what really went on with the farm. And in addition to that, they had fun. They even were asking, Mr. Mike, are we going to come back here next year? Everybody was happy that COVID gonna be done very soon, this probably by the end of this fall. And we're starting planning on bringing them back next year. Now, the new administration of Strength to Love Farm, I've not worked yet with them. So because of that, I'm not sure how this study gonna continue. And the good thing is that the grant that I got for this study was a one-year grant, starting last year and gonna end this December. Now the situation was, at that time, there were so many unknowns. I didn't even know that Ms. Brown gonna leave because of her passion for the learning of the students, and also for those who are interested in farm work, how to get more skills and more knowledge and how to get things done. I have another colleague who works with them strictly on urban farming, Miss Neat Little, and so she also works with Strength to Love. She is actually, that's her responsibility as University of Maryland Extension educator. She is involved with urban farm education. Now, Baltimore City just needed more, and they needed more that involved finances and farm management and all that. So that is how I got to them. So So that is the situation with the farm management, beginners farm management in Baltimore City. And there are many other small farms in Baltimore City. As you realize, we focus just on one area. And what has happened is that if resources are available, I see one of the directors or assistant director of farm association. I'm not too familiar. I've not attended one of those their meetings because I think my colleague does that. So I do not actually know what they do present, but what it is that I think there will be a presentation. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow about urban farm in Baltimore related to that. So that is actually where we are. The video took a lot of time did not take much time that would have made the discussion even longer. But at some point, I think we can still ask more questions. If you don't ask questions, you're not helping me or you're not helping others. It looks like we just came to say, hey, hello, it's been a long time I saw you. Probably that was 2 years ago in the actual conference, but again, I'm not sure. That probably might have been in New Jersey or something like that. But again, let's ask questions, so that we make sure that we use the best of the time that we can help. I always say helping ourselves to help each other. So that is the approach that I always say when I come to, when I'm doing seminars or sessions like this. I say, okay, yeah, I may be presenting, but I do not know much as compared to you who are my colleagues who have an idea of some of the things that we are doing. Share your farm knowledge. Share the knowledge from your county. What are you guys doing in your county? Let me see if you can help with that. Is it different from what we are doing? I asked that you text in something. Nobody showed the text. I don't see anything by anyone. And please go ahead, and if you don't want to, maybe the mic was a discouragement. If you don't want your voice to be horrible like mine this morning, maybe just text it in instead of chat it in, not text. Wow, technology. Okay, chat it in, and so that everybody, maybe that was the trick. I use the word text so that you don't find text, but now chat it in because you can see the chatting box, so let's get a perspective from everybody. Helping ourselves to help each other. So the time is all yours now. More than enough time for every question. More than enough time to share your views. So I want to see those speak mics on mute. Unmute yourself so that you can talk to us. I want to learn from you all as well. If you don't have any idea about urban farms, you can still mention that. You can tell us something.
Michael, it's Leslie here with NESOG. I'd be interested to know if folks would be interested in sharing like their farm affiliation in the chat box, or maybe just where they're from and where they're farming, potentially, just so we have an idea of kind of the geographic location of folks.
Yeah, that is what I asked before I went to those slides. That's what I asked, and I think because I use text, I threw off everybody. But now that I came back and I didn't see anything chatted, so I say, okay, everyone should chat, especially your state, what you do for your state, and your locality, or the city or county that you based, and what you just around that, what you do, and what who you're employed with, or who you work for. If it's University of New York, Albany, unfortunately, Albany doesn't have farm educators, but what was that state that has extension? Again, I call Albany because I went to school in Albany, New York. So so that's the first reach for me. All right, thank you, Grace.
Hi, my name is Donetta Boykin, and I'm actually in Dayton, Ohio. I am a urban farmer, and I work with the incubator farming program that is being offered through Central State University. And with our program, we had like 8 people that were able to participate and were given like plots of land to learn how to farm on a commercial scale. The issue or problem that I felt like we kind of ran into was finding volunteers to kind of come out and assist with that. So I guess my question was just going to be, how do you get more community involvement? It just seems like, I was like struggling to try to find like people to come out to really help and be a part of that actual space, and provide assistance to some of the farmers, because a lot of the farmers that we had that participated in the program, they had a full-time job, and then they're trying to do this also, and just trying to find that kind of support to keep them involved and keep the program running and being successful.
Thank you so much. Can anyone help to answer that question? How do anyone else?
I can jump on.
Okay, thanks, Robert.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? My name is Robert. I'm calling in from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And yeah, so I work at Green Village Initiative, and we work with essentially most things urban agriculture in Bridgeport. And our youth program actually started by youth kind of coming by, seeing us opening up the farm site, and saying, if you pay us, like, we'll come by. So they understand that like people need help, and the way that we've started to get some volunteers, and the way that we continue to engage in our community is by flyering, putting up things on social media, just connecting with different organizations to help have them post your flyers up, having everyone within the network of your farmers posting these things, posting around wherever they live, and then just also even sometimes going door to door, reaching people and letting them know that this space is open for everyone to access to.
Robert, are you okay? Or are you done?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all set.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Donita, does that help? does that help, or does that, if someone else can share besides Robert what they do, then I can add a little of what I see happening in Baltimore City?
Yeah, that does help some. I think I really try to kind of get, the community involved a lot with our program. It's kind of odd though, where we're located, where the farm site is located, there is like a little walking path or what have you. So there's a few people that come out there, but it's kind of secluded, if you will. So I don't know, it's kind of like there's a spot out there where people fish and that kind of thing. But yeah, most of the time when I would come across people, it was like they had no clue, that any of this was going on, and I had kind of like reached out to, like the city, and they post stuff on like the city's website, but just, I don't know, it was like, and we got a few volunteers that would come out, a handful of volunteers that kind of came out, and they've done an amazing job. I have to give like hands up to them because they've been very dedicated. But, just from my perspective, I just feel like it's very important, to get the community involved and that, have them kind of be hands-on, with the whole process, if for nothing else, if for no more other reason than to have them learn, how to garden and possibly like grow something there in their own backyard, what I mean? Like kind of spread that knowledge a little bit, because the area that I live in has been classified as a food desert because we don't have a grocery store in our actual city anymore. So, for me, I'm like, well, that's key right there. If you can just grow a few things in your backyard, that will totally help, with the whole process. But I'm going to try and do an actual social media, like ramp up my efforts first, us actually creating a social media page for our group and kind of move in that direction. And then I'm not the most social media savvy type person. So I think that's like one of the areas that I kind of struggle in. I'm a very creative person, but when it comes to like just navigating that whole thing, I'm kind of like horrible with like posting stuff and knowing really what to post to really keep people engaged and bring them in. So that might be part of the issue too.
And anybody else before I jump in? Now, the reason why you see I'm keeping myself last, because mine is based on little experience and based on more experience with teaching. Now, so in most of my, by the way, just to let you know that Baltimore City has a lot of food desert. It's classified, the city itself was classified and still as a food desert area. So again, so the same situation that is happening with you, we still have it in Baltimore City. And that same question, I think I've heard one of my colleagues talk about getting people to involve. But I think from the other experience that I see through Dr. Reverend Brown was to connecting with other organizations or associations, especially non-profit, faith-based. So it's something that can also help to boost, not only to promote, but to even boost recruitment of people who are gonna get involved with that fund. So especially if you look at the area around where you need the farm to be located or where the farm is already located, just see the distances with the churches around those areas. They will be grateful to help you, to join with you or do something like an incentive without money that will make them feel that this farm also do not belong to you and your institution. It also belongs to the community, and that is why they are involved, or they are being called to get involved. and see what will happen. Did you try any of those before?
No, but I will. I'm glad that you provided that suggestion. No, but I will reach out. There was a few organizations that I did connect with, but it was kind of odd. Like there was one lady that works in our community center that had given me some suggestions, but everyone that she kind of referred me to was outside of our community. So that was kind of, kind of odd there, because I think that might have been why they weren't too, invested in following through with their commitment to it. Like I had several different people that were like, oh yeah, we'll come out. And, I offered, definitely a portion of the produce and whatnot that, we would harvest, and to, for their time and their effort or what have you. And they were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll come out. They seemed very interested. However, then the follow through portion of it fell off. So yeah, actually I will kind of reach out to the local churches and see if I can get people involved that way, because that might be a little bit better, since they're like, they're not driving from across town or, things of that nature.
Yep, I think so too. That would be great. Right. Yeah, don't give up. That's a nice approach. So please do not give up. The better you get your community involved, the better or the easier some of the things that you thinking about will move on well. No. Right. So again, I see a question. Okay. Hey, Grace, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us directly? I see you have an input in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I think something to add that I was thinking about as this discussion was just going on. So I'm in the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, and I'm not an urban farmer specifically, but I work with some farms in coordination and getting resources. And they were saying a lot of the same things that y'all were saying about not having volunteers and really needing a lot more manpower to do some of the projects that they were planning on doing on the farms and gardens. And something that we came up with and are trying to do is trying to connect with schools in the area, like high schools, if there's any colleges or universities, because a lot of those either professors or teachers want to get their students more involved in the community. And also they may have organizations like clubs or like Greek life or Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, those types of clubs that require community service hours. So maybe, as you were saying, Michael, to kind of incentivize on both ends what those volunteers could gain from coming and being a part of that. Not only is it great to be a part of the community, but they could also get community service hours or discover new career interests or things like that. So that's something that we're trying to do is trying to be more involved with the schools in the area. So I'm not sure if that's helpful, but hopefully it is.
Yeah, thank you. Danita, that can also be helpful to you, right?
Yes, I agree. That is really helpful, actually, because like when you started saying about, that would offer them the opportunity for community service hours, in my mind, I immediately thought about, being a Girl Scout and getting like a badge or, things of that nature. And I was like, oh, no, that would be perfect. And there is a gentleman that I've spoken to recently that does have a Boy Scout group or troop out here. So I'll reach out to them also. And then I immediately thought about 4-H. I remember being in high school and having our 4-H group and during different events and programs and whatnot with them. So no, I can totally reach out to them too at the local high school and see if there's some way we can get the kids involved, because a lot of times I think that's part of it too. You know, people are like, oh, I work a full-time job and you know, they're like, when can I come out? I'm tired, you know, but kids have energy stored that is just like amazing. So no, that would be totally great. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. And just before we close that your section, I would like to let you also be informed that especially those who are not connected with institutions with university extension work, 4-H is also a big part. It's one of our areas. I wouldn't say department because extension is a department, so it's another part of the university focus area. So we have a 4-H extension. I think most extension do have that. They have the director of 4-H, and they do a lot of 4-H work. So maybe if it's hard for you to get 4-H connection, that will be another thing to try. Thank you. Thank you, Donita, and thank you, Grace. And
yeah, I have, this is Gary Bloss, just a comment that may be relevant. We've been working with the Whitelock Community Farm in Baltimore, and Kimberly Rakes, you probably know her.
Yes, I know her.
Yes, we actually, I'm actually, I co-manage a farm in Northeast Pennsylvania, but I also wear the Pennsylvania Farmers Union food safety coordinator cap, and we're doing a project with Kimberly and Chesapeake Harvest with an eye towards food safety. So we're working with the local food safety collaborative, and we're doing a video series on the. We have it on our Pennsylvania Farmers Union website, but we've done several videos with food safety in mind. They're not, all of them aren't up yet, they're in process, but stay tuned. But we're focused on urban agriculture and food safety. We did one at the in Philadelphia with the neighborhood food farm and urban tree connection. And most recently, we're down in Baltimore filming with Angela Gruber, who's, I believe, with the University of Maryland. You may know her as well. And we conducted what we call an on-farm readiness review, geared to how urban farms are addressing food safety considerations as a result of, while exempt, largely. It's known that you want to put your food safety lenses on, and that's the title of our series. So just wanted to put that out there as a resource as well, and stay tuned for the video of at the community, Whitelock Community Farm. We also had Kimberly come up to our farm and kind of view the urban-rural connections. Knowing that urban farms are often training grounds for potential new farmers that may go out into more rural areas. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thanks. Can you put that in the chat box, because they would like to gather some of our contributions. Okay. So if you can put some.
Yeah, I'm on my
information.
phone. I tried it. It's a little harder. I was on the desktop, but I'll give that a go. Yep.
Not only you alone. I wish you saw me struggling. Okay, so I think we have last few minutes to go, but I think did we hear from you, Robert Peck? Mr. Peck, did we hear from you?
Hey, Michael, it's Leslie. I'm just checking
Oh, it's
in.
okay, thank you.
I I want to encourage folks to use the Hoover Q&A function moving forward. We're going to have to wrap up. We got to give up space in this room to the next presenter. And I just want to thank you and everybody for your time here.
Yeah, I also thank everybody for participating. I wish we could have started chatting in longer. I would have gathered a lot of information. What took us that quiet? Maybe because I did not give you all my Cameroon coffee. So, I want to thank you, Leslie. I want to thank you, all my colleagues who joined, every one of you, all my colleagues. We shared knowledge. Let's help ourselves to help each other. So thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.